The $9 billion lie, how Elizabeth Holmes fooled the world. In the heart of Silicon Valley, the currency isn't just money, it's belief. If you can make people believe, you can conjure billions out of thin air. For a decade, the world believed in this black box. It was called the Edison. The promise was intoxicating. Hundreds of complex medical tests, from cholesterol to cancer, performed instantly. Using only a single drop of blood drawn from a fingertip. No big needles, no vials, no waiting. It was supposed to revolutionize healthcare, it was supposed to save lives. By 2014, this promise built a company valued at $9 billion. Elizabeth Holmes was the messiah of biotech. She was untouchable, proud, There was just one problem: the technology didn't exist. The $9 billion empire was built on a lie so audacious, so complete, that when it finally shattered, it didn't just bankrupt investors, it endangered thousands of lives. Elizabeth Holmes didn't want to just be rich. She wanted to be historic. At 19, she dropped out of Stanford with a tuition fund and a terrifying ambition. She modeled herself entirely on her idol, Steve Jobs. The black turtleneck, the secrecy, the reality distortion field. She even adopted an artificially deep voice to sound more authoritative in a male-dominated industry. Her pitch was emotionally manipulative. She spoke of her fear of needles, of loved ones dying too soon because diseases were caught too late. She weaponized empathy to bypass scrutiny, and she surrounded herself with a human shield of unimpeachable credibility. She assembled a board of directors made up of former secretaries of state and four-star generals. Men who knew geopolitics, but nothing about biochemistry. Their presence signaled to investors, this is real. If Kissinger trusts her, why shouldn't you? The money poured in. Rupert Murdoch alone invested $125 million. The FOMO, fear of missing out, drove valuations into the stratosphere. Greed blinded them to the science. So, how do you fake a medical miracle for 10 years? You build a Potemkin village. The premise of Theranos was that their proprietary machine, the Edison, could run hundreds of tests on a few drops of blood. The reality? The Edison could barely run a handful of tests, and it did those poorly. The physics were impossible. You cannot get accurate data from a microscopic blood sample for that many tests. So they cheated. When a patient came to a Theranos wellness center in a Walgreens, they drew the tiny drop of blood. But behind the scenes, in the secret labs that visitors never saw, technicians were doing something terrifying. They were taking that tiny sample and diluting it wildly to create enough volume to run on standard commercial machines bought from competitors like Siemens. She was selling vaporware to Walgreens and Safeway, while literally endangering the public to keep the valuation high. The facade began to crack from the inside. Young employees, idealistic scientists like Tyler Schultz and Erica Chung, realized the data was being faked. They saw the errors, they saw the danger. When they tried to raise alarms internally, they were silenced, threatened by Holmes and her attack dog lawyer, David Boyes, so they went outside. In October 2015, investigative journalist John Carreyrou of the Wall Street Journal dropped the bomb. His article exposed the dilution, the use of competitor machines, and the culture of fear. Holmes went on the offensive. She called the reporting tabloid journalism, but the regulators were now watching. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services inspected their labs and found them to be an immediate jeopardy to patient health. The collapse was swift. Walgreens terminated their partnership. The SEC charged them with massive fraud. The $9 billion valuation evaporated to zero. In January 2022, a jury found Elizabeth Holmes guilty on 4 counts of defrauding investors. The messiah of biotech was revealed to be a snake oil salesman with a better wardrobe. Theranos proved that in Silicon Valley, you can fake it till you make it, but you cannot fake biology. The most expensive magic trick in corporate history was over. And the cost wasn't just $9 billion, it was the truth.